there have been a lot of times, especially back when I was an atheist, where I always thought it was kind of odd that everyone who was a Christian or, would just be saying that atheists don't have the truth and the atheists who stay atheists don't want the truth. And it just kind of made me irritated, and I was like, oh, come on, who are they to say that I'm not looking for the truth and that I don't actually want to have the truth? And the simple fact of the matter is, the vast majority of people, even though people generally like to think everyone's looking for the truth, the vast majority of people do not want the truth. And the way I put it is like this: they want certain pieces of the truth, because there are truths that are bitter, like a strong blend of coffee, and there are truths that are sweet like sugar and honey. So, or milk, for example. There are truths that are sweet as milk, and you have to start a person on truths like that. You can't just give a person all the hardest truths, like the hardest, bitterest truth of everything right at the start. You can't just do that. I mean, because people aren't going to want it, and they're going to run away from it, and they're going to be like, blah, this is disgusting. Like, it's like, if you've ever seen that scene with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, you can't handle the truth. And the fact is, nobody is ready to handle the truth at first. But this goes again back to scripture. Like, people who cannot who aren't ready for meat, they're as children. You need to feed them truth that is like milk first. You feed them, a little bit of the truth. You give it to them in bits so that they can build up a tolerance for the sweeter parts of the truth. But eventually you're going to have to get them accustomed to the truth enough to be able to have some of the stronger things. A bit of coffee, a bit of the stronger meat, that kind of stuff of the truth. The stuff that's not as easy to hear because it's not as sweet to the taste when you get right down to it. Because there are some pretty harsh truths out there that have to be faced by everybody. And and most people don't want to do that. You got to have your dinner before you can have your dessert. But if there's no one actually if there's no one actually coming at you about it, you're just going to have your dessert, because you got to have a parent or someone, if you don't have the self-control to do it yourself, you need to have someone there who is going to discipline you and ensure that you will stop, eat your dinner, you'll have your greens, you'll have your vegetables, you'll have the things that you don't actually like quite so much. You'll eat those up first. And, it's like with a kid, they'll kick and scream, and they'll make a whole big fuss about it for the first couple times. Then they'll eventually just sit there and they'll accept it. They might not like it as much, but they'll tolerate it. And then eventually it'll occur to them, this stuff doesn't actually taste that bad. And then you feed them their greens long enough, eventually they're going to be like, I actually really like this. And then you take it away and they're going to be like, can we add a little bit on there? I mean, I kind of miss it now. That kind of thing. And then, once they've had their greens, then you give them the sweeter truth. That's when you get your dessert kind of thing, Because, admittedly, yes, there are some harsh truths. This is another thing that also needs to be acknowledged, because personally myself, and I have seen some others, seem to dwell very much on the harsh truth. And only the harsh truth. Always, always, always. And the fact of the matter is, you can't only go after the harsh truth either, because then you're going to get jaded, and it's really not a good way to be. You need to know the harsh truth, but you shouldn't ignore the sweeter truth that is also there. Just because, you shouldn't just eat only the bitterest foods and all that stuff as like some kind of a point of pride. That's just dumb. I mean, and you know what they say about pride. Pride goes before destruction. The sweeter truths are there for a reason, And they should be enjoyed, they should be savored, because life is not just about the harshness, life is about the sweetness that there is there also. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You have a blessed day.